talk about full verbs, we talk about all the other verbs in the language. All the other verbs in the language. Like, for example, watch, like speak, like admire, like think. Well, these full verbs represent the very large group of words which are found in the dictionary. They are called full verbs because they have full meaning of showing action. So when we talk about watch, we talk about the action of watching. When we talk about speak, we talk about the process of speaking. When we talk about think, now we talk about an intellectual process of thinking inside our mind. Therefore, they show action, while at the same time they give meaning, and they can be used to make sentences. Now, these are called full verbs. Now, they are different from auxiliary and auxiliary verb, modal auxiliaries. Now, and the second thing now, auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliaries work with full verbs. And they work to help full verbs to show the tenses, to show the negative or the affirmative, to show the case of a statement or the case of a question. So in all cases now, we talk about these as full verbs. Example, now we talk about they are watching the movie. Look at the verb watch. It shows the process, the mechanical process of watching, and the auxiliary verb are helps the verb watch to show the continuity of the action and that what is going on happens in the present simple tense. Happens now. Now we say she is reflecting her ambition in her work. Now we talk about reflecting. The verb reflect is a full verb with a meaning. Is an auxiliary verb which helps it to show the continuity and the present simple tense. Now these are called full verbs. Now when we talk about full verbs, we talk about a very large category of verbs now, which is made up of tens of thousands of verbs in the dictionary. Now, Now, these auxiliary verbs also can have another function. They can be used to show or to help in forming the passive voice. Now, we know that sentences can be active or passive. Now, when we talk about active sentences, we talk about sentences whose subject is known, is familiar to us. But when we talk about passive voice, we talk about sentences whose subject is neglected. So we postpone we delay its occurrence in the sentence to a later stage, or we let it be neglected because it's not important. Yani in active voice, we stress the subject, we focus on the subject, we make the subject clear to the audience now, particularly by starting the sentence with this subject. Like when we talk about passive voice, now we want now to neglect it sometime. To us and for listeners, it is not so important, so we leave it to a later stage in the sentence. Now, these more auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs help now the sentences in making the passive voice. For example, now we take she has lost her pen. Now, the subject is she. Now, so the sentence starts with she because she is very important. Now, we want now to leave she and to say that what is important is that the pen was lost. So we begin with her pen. So we say her pen has been lost. Now, what is important now in the sentence, what we want to focus on is her pen. So we initiate or start the sentence with her. Now, in order to make this sentence like this passive, with this meaning now we look at the sentence, we find that there is the auxiliary modal verb, the auxiliary have or has, so we use it. Now it can be followed by a verb, or it must be followed by a verb to be. So what the form of be that comes after has is been. So we say her pen has been lost. Has been. We cannot say her pen has lost. We must say her pen has been lost. Why? Because the verb to have must be followed by verb to be, particularly by the form been in the sentence. So now the sentence she has lost her pen is transformed or changed into her pen has been lost. Well, this is a form of the passive voice. This is a form of the passive voice. In the same form now, we can, any sentence which has an object, we can change it into passive voice by using the necessary verb to be and the other auxiliary verb in the sentence. Now, another example of voice now. You say she is thinking of her exams. The object is her exams. Her exams. Now we bring the helping verb in the sentence, the auxiliary verb is now, but with exams, now this is singular, we need a plural. The plural form is are. Her exams are. Now think, now has an ing, so bring be with ing. So her exams are being, and we need the past participle of think, which is thought. So her exams are being thought of. Her exams are being thought of. This is the passive voice of the sentence. She is thinking of her exams. What is being taken in consideration in this form is that if you want to change any sentence into passive voice, you must begin with the object at the very beginning instead of subject. Then, if there is a verb to be in the sentence, in an auxiliary verb be, am, is, are, or was, or were. Now, we talk about the passive voice again. We say that these auxiliary verbs, whether they are auxiliary or they are modal auxiliary verbs, they can be used in transforming or in changing the sentence from active into passive. For example now, if we say they killed the thief, now all we do is that we bring the object into the beginning of the sentence. So we have the thief. We look at the sentence whether it has an auxiliary or not. We find that the sentence does not have an auxiliary either of be or have or do, all of the models. Therefore, we bring an auxiliary verb related to the tense of the sentence. The tense is past simple tense. So we bring now the auxiliary verb was. Now, after that, the full verb is put in the past participle. So we have killed, it remains killed, but in the past participle. So the thief was killed. Now, therefore now we use the auxiliary verb in order to help the sentence in being changed from active into passive. Therefore now, these auxiliary verbs and the modal auxiliary verbs help the full verb or the main verb or help the sentence in change from active into passive voice. So the sentence can be changed into active, from active into passive. The sentence can be changed from affirmative into negative by the help of these auxiliaries. Now, and a sentence can be changed from statement into question now by using these auxiliary verbs. So this is now, these are the functions of the auxiliary verbs, whether they are main verbs, whether they are auxiliary verbs, or whether they are modal auxiliary verbs. Now, with the help of the other verbs now, the main verbs or the full verbs, we can make the sentence negative, we can make a question, and they are necessary in showing the tense of the sentence. Just now we want to make some kind of concern on the use of the auxiliary verbs have now in showing the tenses. Now, and we say, for example, that when we talk about the class of auxiliary verbs have, now we stress one very important fact, which is that we talk about the action. The action is finished. The action is perfect. Like when it is perfect, it is before, if in the present, before now, if in the past, before a given moment or point in the past. Now, if we use verb to have to show the perfect now, it must be followed all the time by a past participle verb. For example, we say they have shown the truth. Now, when we talk about have, it must be followed by a verb, a full verb, in the past participle. In case 3, show, shown, shown. Now we talk about show, showed, showed. The third case, which is the past participle. Now, if we talk about they, and the action of the full verb is in the continuous, we say they have been showing the truth. The truth. Showing the truth to us. You see? Now, I have followed by the past participle of verb to be, then followed by the verb in the action in the continuous. They have been showing the truth to all of us. Now this is about the cases now where we use the full verbs and the auxiliary verbs and their meaning and the tenses. Now still we have to show, just to give still we have to give only just one point about a question making. Now in a question making now, we must know that the sentence, which is a statement, can be changed into question. In this case now, a question is a transformation of the sentence. Is another form of the sentence. For example now, let's see how a sentence can be changed into question? No. All we do now we will give a sentence just as an example. We will give a sentence as an example. We say, for example, the stars appeared in the sky last night. Now, we look at this sentence, we say we want to change it into a question. Now, we look at the sentence, we ask the question, is there any auxiliary or modal auxiliary verb in the sentence? We will find that there is no auxiliary or no auxiliary verb found in the sentence. Therefore now, in order to make a question, we want to bring one of the auxiliaries, either do or does or did. Again, if there is no auxiliary verb in the sentence, if there is no modal auxiliary verb in the sentence, or an auxiliary verb, we look at the main verb and we bring from it either do or does or did, depending on the tense of the sentence. Now, if the verb, the full verb, is in the past, we take from it did. If the verb ends with is, we use does. If it is not in the past, nor ends with is, we use do. Now, in this case, we find that the full verb is appeared. Therefore, now we analyze it into did and appear. Did appear, which is appeared. Okay. This is number one. Number two, now we take did and put it for the subject. So we find it now. Did, wait, sorry, the stars, after it appeared, did the stars appear in the sky last night? Now we have a question. Did the stars appear in the sky last night? Okay. Now this, such kind of a question now this kind of a question now is called yes or no question. It can be answered by yes or no. If somebody says that last night the sky was cloudy, therefore the stars did not appear in the sky. Like if it was not cloudy, no clouds are in the sky, we say the stars appeared in the sky. Did the stars appear in the sky? Yes. If no, we say no. Now, like if we want to ask about the sky itself, now we use the first stage. Look, did at the beginning within the subject in the verb, did the stars appear in the sky? After that, we ask about the sky by verb, and we begin this question with verb. So we have were, then we have did in the last stage. We have the stars. We have appeared last night. The question is now, where did the stars appear last night? The answer is, the stars appeared in the sky last night. So, to form a question by a WH word, asking about what or when or where or what or why or etc., we now put it at the beginning. The WH word we put at the beginning. The second stage, we make a yes or no question. We put do or does or did after it, then we complete the sentence as it is, and by this we can form a question from the statement or from the sentence. So any sentence then can be changed into negative. If we change it into negative, we change it by using the auxiliary verbs or even the modal auxiliary verbs. Or if you want to make a question, you use the auxiliary verb or the modal auxiliary verb in the sentence in making the question. if the auxiliary verb or the modal auxiliary is not available, in this case now, you bring either do or did or does, and by this you can form a question. So we can form a question, you can form negative, you can change any sentence into negative, and you can change the sentence, the statement, the sentence into passive voice. All of this by the help of what? Of the auxiliary verbs and the modal auxiliary verbs. They help the full verb to show all of this. Now this is now everything we can talk about regarding the auxiliary verbs and the full verbs. Now the function of them and how to make all kinds of sentences, negatives, affirmatives, passive, questions, and etc. Okay. Let's now see you later on in a coming class.